Well, I wasn't born here, but I grew up here, from elementary school all the way to high school. A sister and a brother older, and a younger sister. My brother and I worked this photo lab straight from 1980 and all the way to 2002 for me, and then in 2008 he killed himself. We worked our shifts, got paid on Fridays, hit the bar, a lot of drugs, a lot of gambling, a lot of alcohol, and a lot of foolishness. I was one of those guys that would just get a ticket, never take care of it, do the 30 days for the warrant. I did that, must have been 15 times. 2004, my mom dies, cancer. I was always the mama's boy, so that really hit me hard, really hard. We sold the house, there was a little bit of money. My share was a pretty good little share, but I didn't do anything with it. I gave it back to the casinos, gave it back to the drug dealers, gave it back to the bartenders. That's what I did.
At the age 14, I was introduced to alcohol and marijuana. My mother, she was a gambler, and she drank. And now it finally came to me that I think some pills were involved. My sister studied bringing me updates about what was going on because I was very young. And she's gambling and drinking and stressing. So I tried to not get caught up in that. And I knew gambling is not my thing, so I learned from early age. But drinking, I should have known better because she died and eventually died at age 40. That's a rush to the liver. So I should have knew what to do. And come on, because they didn't die, but it's the devil and insanity. They're thinking we can do this, and then it brings death and destruction. I've been in and out of institutions like jails and juveniles since age of 15. When I was 15, I think I did a year stretch, My mom was trying to catch me then. She turned me in and tried to wake me up. I'm thinking she the devil. You don't turn me in, but she was trying to help me. Now I understand. But then I eventually getting out. I hit prison at the age of 18, and I only did like a couple years. And from then on, it just was a life of in and out. From here to Florida, I got felonies. I'm a 5-time convicted felony. About 23, getting in trouble, because I come from way of street life. And I lost a lot of friends to that life. And I knew I was been out of control, but that's just the devil again was telling me that I think I needed this coping dependency. I thought when I smoked this, because it eventually led me to PCP, see? And I thought PCP was for to calm me down. That's how saying I am. I'm thinking this calming me down. And I ended up, man, you see the scars, some of the scars on my body, I did to myself. And not scars, I did to myself. Nobody done it to me. I did it to myself, let alone hurting somebody else. And I've been out of control. And I didn't have the guts and the courage to go get help, seek help. I thought I can do this without God connection,
My addiction to alcohol started at about the age of 13. In the small town we lived in, you could give somebody $1 or $2 and get a pack of cigarettes and a bottle of Boone's Farm wine. And it changed me. Not in a positive way, but it made me more talkative. I thought it made me more prominent, made me more I don't know, a man about town maybe, or kid about town really. And we drank. It was not a big deal. There was one police officer in town. We always knew where he was. My first bout of trouble was throwing snowballs at that police car, and we were all drunk. Fast forward 4 years later was my first DUI. I ran my car up into a snowbank, and the same police officer had arrested me and called my mom and took me home. All in all, I've had 5 DUIs. One was going to serve prison time, my last one. And I would say that was in about 1984, prior to coming out here. But he said the first one was so far long ago that he dropped that and then just charged me with the 3. I found the effects of alcohol to be a stimulant. to take me away from maybe childhood memories, the memories of being actually fatherless. I've never known my real father. He deserted my mom and us. And 4 fathers later, the same thing. So I learned to master and deal and connive and do all those things that I probably shouldn't have done on my own, left to my own demise. But I enjoyed drinking, I really did. A few incidences like that just told me that I couldn't do it anymore. That just stopping wasn't enough. I had thoughts, I had just an overwhelming battle between drinking, not drinking. I tried drinking 1 or 2 times sociably, just 2, I'm stopping. Yeah, that worked for about 3 or 4 times. It was just night after night after night, but in the back of my head I just knew if I didn't do something about it, I was going to die. So I came down to eat at the mission, Las Vegas Rescue Mission.
There was a couple guards at the gate when I was waiting to get in. They were both very wide-eyed and very upfront about how this place had changed their lives and how glad they were to be able to do what they are doing, security and being in the mission. It was graveyard security when I first started out. LC, Daryl, and me, and those guys had a huge influence too, because they just sat there and did their job, didn't let too much bother them, and did their job like they were supposed to. And I learned a lot from that. You know, just make sure people are in bed, make sure people aren't doing what they're not supposed to be doing, and get them up so they could have breakfast. And that was almost immediately. The 3rd day I was here, I was already doing graveyard security. And that was perfect. Gave me something to do. I did my homework. I loved the classes. I still love the classes. There's a lot I still need to learn. There's a lot that I still need to be more patient with, but I have found out that it's only God's plan that He has for me. I can't make it happen. I can't force it to happen. I have to let it come to me. And that was a lot. That's just what I had to dealing with. The new deal was letting God take over and let God do His thing that He knows is right for me. I just got to let happen.
When I look through my Genesis stuff here, I look back at the book and the stuff, it shows me what took me to what kept getting me in trouble and going to prison and jail. It's been alcohol, PCP, it's been drugs, streets. It's been that, and the book shows me that. And I know today, if I don't pick up anything illegal, stay in God's hands and be patient, I'll be a free man, I'll be at peace. Since I got in the program, this journey, man, it's been well worth it. I recommend it to anybody, and and I said again, I don't have to look on my back today. You know what I'm saying? I used to be, just a year ago, I'd be looking all around, thinking people staring at me, and now I could just walk down the street. I don't have that problem. I go to sleep with peace, I mean, the whole process has helped me to humble, accept others, the selfishness. I would recommend the whole program to a person, and it helps. I accepted Christ, I got back closer this year. I've been always believed in the Lord. I had some doubts. The flesh was giving me when I first came in. Now, I believe that He got me in His hand. He gonna take care of me.
The process has given me an insight to triggers, an insight for coping skills. I don't think I never knew what a coping skill was. Now I do. I have a much more personal relationship with Christ now. Jesus has truly manifested Himself in me. I know there was a change But it was pointed out to me a couple of times in sort of a sparring, passing way by a staff member here who said to another staff member, "Do you recognize this guy?" And he said, no, I don't. There's been a profound change. So that only confirms my feeling that Christ is definitely managing my life, helping me to control my emotions, my thoughts. He's come into my life at a point where I thought it was my last. I just was not going to survive. I probably wouldn't make it to the age I am now.
After going through all the classes, watching what the case managers do, and my outside counseling and my other counseling, because I'm also going to cessation counseling, all the people that I've talked to seem to think that would be a pretty good avenue for me to explore. Been to CSN, waiting for a grant from PASPA. If the school doesn't work out, I still have Meals on Wheels and Waiters on Wheels on the back burner.
My next step, seek steady employment first. First, stay connected with God first. Then maintain my means of recovery, accountability partners, and seek steady employment. Because I'm working right now in temp service, but I got school involved. I didn't sit down for 15 weeks for my GED not to go back to CSN. I got HVAC waiting on me, ATI waiting on me to put me through HVAC, but I need them license to get in. So I got CSN and everything on hand so to better my future, and try to be that disciple for the Lord.
I'm looking at things with a Christ-like spirit and different vision and different purposes and different reasons, rather than just money and hoarding the money and stacking the money and buying this and getting that. I'd like to do something worthwhile, maybe in a ministry, maybe in a sober living house. I'd like to sponsor a young person myself, after I have some time in sobriety myself. I'd like to maybe come back and be a mentor here at the mission. They help me a lot here. I enjoyed talking to them. It's an openness, People do care, and you feel it, and you see it. And I've enjoyed my time here. And I think, my future's looking bright.